Hello, everybody. I have my disclaimer. Any information discussed in this interview may not represent the views of the station or host. Please discuss any information with your primary care physician. Hi, everyone. This is Betsy Wurzel, your host of Chatting with Betsy on Passionate World Talk Radio, where our mantra is to educate, enlighten, and entertain. Before I bring my guest on, I have two public service announcements. One is this month, September, is World Alzheimer's Awareness Month. September 21st is World Alzheimer's Awareness Day. I tell you, the public, this, for you to educate yourself about this disease. It is not just memory loss. It is not a normal part of aging. And if you have any memory issues going on with yourself or you know a loved one, please contact your primary care physician and tell your physician about it. It's very important to educate yourself about the number 6 killer. It is a global epidemic, and there are resources to help you. That's why I'm here. Chatting with Betsy is about giving people resources. My second public service announcement is September is also National Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. We all get into a deep, dark hole. If you need help, it's okay. It's okay to ask for help. The national hotline is 988. Please reach out for help. Please tell your primary care physician that you need help, and they can guide you with resources in your local area. Oh, I have a third public service announcement. September, yes, I can't believe it. This is my 3rd year anniversary of Chatting with Betsy. So I want to thank everyone for listening, subscribing, sharing. Tell your friends about Chatting with Betsy. Chatting with Betsy is not about me. It is here to help. I am here to help you. I want you all to know you are not alone. We all think we're alone in how we feel. Trust me, you're not alone. And I want to provide resources to help you in your life. Resources that I wish I knew about when my husband was alive, and just for me, myself. Without further ado, I have a very special guest with me today. I just love her. My guest is Daisy Vest. Hey, that rhymes. She's a kid. Correct myself up. She's a caregiver for her mom, who has Alzheimer's. She is an artist at Days Eye Art. She is our Purple Angel Ambassador, a Dementia Awareness Advocate. And my friend Daisy Vest is a dream come true for me, folks, and I'll tell you why. For years, at least 5, 6, 7 years, I can't keep track anymore, I have been telling people, show your journey, show your pictures, show pictures of your loved one. Get out of the dementia closet and shine a light on this journey and your loved ones. Let's personalize this disease with names and faces and make it real to people. And that's exactly what my friend Daisy Vest does. She puts names and faces to the ones who have some kind of dementia. And Daisy, I want to thank you for all the advocacy work that you do. I just admire what you do, and I want to thank you for your work.
Well, you're very welcome. It's a great outlet for me. I need it. As much as others, I think.
And, of course, welcome to Chatting with Betsy.
Well, thank you for having me, and happy 3-year anniversary. You're deep into this. You're deep into it now.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So you are going to talk about your campaign for World Alzheimer's Awareness Month. And you already started your campaign, and I'd like you to tell the audience about what you're doing.
Oh, okay. Well, since I did this last year too, and I was still felt kind of new at creating digital art for visuals, but it seems like almost every month there's something special or something important that we need to be sharing awareness about when it comes to dementias, the types of dementias. But with Alzheimer's, even though it's the most common dementia, I have learned since I started doing the visuals and the graphic images for this year, something just stood out to me, and it's because I'm becoming so familiar with all the other types of dementias as well that aren't as common, and I'm thinking, how much time do I want to put into this? Because people have heard about Alzheimer's, not that they all know a whole lot about it, but then I realized if it's the most common type of dementia, then that means that maybe it's possible that more people are prone to get the Alzheimer's type. And so I'm thinking people need to be prepared. So that was just something different that I saw this year compared to last year. So I've only been doing this for about 2.5 years. So anyway, I just create images. I am a Purple Angel ambassador from the USA. And so I decided I definitely wanted to make an image for the Purple Angel, and I know that automatically gets spread out a lot. So, and that's so important. And then I made one for my art page, but then I had an idea, and I've never done this before, but I went ahead and made customized versions of the September's poster, and I sent them in private message to a lot of my advocate colleagues and friends, and who I always feel like they can use some help becoming more visible. And so I sent them, and I said, but can you help me out? Can you post this on September 1, but not until then, and make it a profile pic or a cover photo, or just post it anywhere? And I thought, I hope this works, because if it does, it could make a better impact than just me doing it. So anyway, it was exciting because it worked. And I was scrolling through all my friends' profiles, and you can see them all up above on your page, or you can see a grouping of them. And I was seeing the poster on different profiles, and then I was seeing them coming through my news feed. And so I thought, okay, this was worth it, because it's a lot of work, all the details you have to do to make the contacts and connections and explain what you're doing, and you copy and paste, and then Facebook makes you stop.
Yeah.
They don't allow you to do that. They finally catch you, and then you're not allowed to do that anymore. So anyway, I copy and pasted as many as I could as far as giving the instructions on what to do, but I had a lot of participation, and it really did help get the visibility launched as far as from what I do and the people like you that I do this with. So I'm grateful, and I'm every day since September 1st, or probably every day. I don't think I've done 2 in one day, but I'm still creating custom versions. So people I don't even know are just asking me, and I know that they are advocates or caregivers or someone even with dementia or Alzheimer's. So anyway, it makes me feel like I can do something to help. I mean, as much as I can tell they appreciate it, it makes me feel amazed that I can do something that they appreciate so much. So I find that to be something very special and fortunate for me that I can do that. So anyway, so that's where I'm at with it. sending out personalized. September is World Alzheimer's Awareness Month, and then their photo of their loved one goes up in the top right corner, and or their business even, or picture of someone that they lost to Alzheimer's. So anyway, every one of them, they have a basic look to them, and it took me about 2 days to create it and design it and be happy with it. I wanted something I could really be happy with, and so but it's so rewarding to finish each one after I've made it customized because I feel like I've connected to someone and we have so much in common. So all working hard together for the same cause. So bringing awareness. So
yes. You're doing, Daisy, like what I wish I had the talent to do. Like I wish I had your talent with the art to do that. In the past, I've encouraged people to show their journeys on their page and share their stories. Maybe because now it is 2022. I found a lot of caregivers back then were very reluctant to show their loved one's journey or to talk about their journey. Are you meeting with any resistance, or do you find most people are accommodating?
It's let's see.
Or a mixture.
I am in contact with so many people who need an outlet, and creating something specialized for them, it means the world to them. And there are more people that I'm coming across that are like that than are hesitant or keeping it in the closet. I kind of feel like the closet door has been opening even in the 2.5, almost 3 years I've been doing this. I can see it coming open,
yes.
And people I've known from my past, before I even knew much about Alzheimer's, they had the whole situation going on in their lives and in their home, and I never heard about it. They didn't talk about it like you're saying. So, I've seen that side of it, but I mostly am working every day with people who are feeling desperate to get the word out because it is such an isolated scenario to live in every day. And
yes,
it can be so complicated that people can't even really explain it because they sound ludicrous. It's like, what? So anyway, that's proven to be a fact many, many, many times with having my mom living here with me. So even the 4 months that I came to her home to visit and check on her once and twice a day for 4 months in a row before I moved her in, I couldn't see what I saw within 24 hours of having her under my roof with me. Major, major difference. Very shocking.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, that's for sure. I feel like I've been on Facebook for 7 years. I joined Facebook in, I think, July 2014. Didn't have a smartphone then. I forgot when I got a smartphone, but as soon as I got a smartphone, I started to do my videos. Maybe it's 5 or 6 years ago. I lose track of time. But, well, it's like Marcia Burr, our mentor and friend, she was like the first pioneer to me to come out and say, we need to show our journeys. We need to tell our stories. And I joined in telling people that. And when I went on Jeannie White's show, because Jeannie White, who's station manager at Pastoral Talk Radio, she had a show, 4 years ago. That's how I started in Pastoral Talk Radio. Jeannie did an interview with me and asked if I would speak on her show for caregivers. I think it was called a Connect show. And to try to get my friends who were caregivers on her show was like really difficult at that time. And that was 4 years ago. And people they were like, well, I don't want to mention my name. I go, that's fine. You could be anonymous. And Jeannie's very easy to talk to. I don't know how to give my story. There's no wrong way to tell your story, I would say. You just, give it a try. And people were really, it was very difficult at that time, and that's 4 years ago, for people to come on and share their story. I think more people are now more open now to telling their story. I think it's Well, I'll toot my own horn. I think it's because of people like myself, Marcia, and you, who are and others who are encouraging people to tell their story. Not many people, when I started to show Matt's journey, not many people were showing their loved one's journey at the time. And I showed Matt's journey, and I didn't care what people thought. I really didn't. I still don't care. I'm too old for that.
Right. And you don't care, and I know that about you.
Yeah,
many of us do know that.
And and I showed the good, the bad, and the ugly of his journey. And people think, well, I can't show my loved one's journey because I want them to keep their dignity. You can keep their dignity. What I really think it's important for people to know, Daisy, that unless we as caregivers, post-caregivers, those who have dementia, if we don't come out of that dementia closet and shine a light on this disease, no one's going to know about it. This is how cancer was known. This is how AIDS was known. These people were not afraid to show or to say they had cancer or AIDS, and they went out and they lobbied. And they got power. And I don't know why it's so difficult. I was a caregiver, and I worked and outside the home. And I don't know why caregivers, some of them, or those with dementia, are still afraid to speak up. Now, I wish that my husband, Matt, would have spoken up, but he didn't have a big mouth like I did.
You had a big enough one for both of you.
Yes. He was.
That's what came out.
Yes. He was, more shy. But, I wish Matt would have expressed. Like, I would have loved to have interviewed Matt, but of course he wasn't going to have it. He wasn't going to have any of that. But I think it's really important for caregivers and those who have any kind of dementia to come out and speak about it. And I used to say, be out and proud like our brothers and sisters in the LGBTQ plus community. That we need our own stonewall. We need to say we're here and we're proud to be a caregiver. If someone has dementia, it's nothing to be ashamed of. Go ahead.
Well, first of all, the more I do this, the more versatility I see, or the more multifaceted I'm understanding that dementia and Alzheimer's are being a type of dementia, how multifaceted it is, and then it affects all different people with all different personalities. And when you think about that, it is very important for people to tell their specific story, because people have a tendency of just throwing everything into one pile and saying, well, that's what that is. I've learned so much from when I create posters with words, with a set of words with it, it'll make a point. And I try to always make my posters stand on their own, where I don't have to write an introduction for them. Sometimes I write the origin of where they came from. But when I look at what I do, and it's conveying all different people's messages and their personal experiences, when I look at that, I can see how one person's is so different, experience is so different from another, even if we're looking at the same type of poster covering the same type of dementia. So but here's the whole other twist to all this. I've been blown away just recently because I was purposely gathering some information from people with dementia with their permission to use it in the future to create visibility for them. And a couple of the people wrote to me and said, I will not let this define me. And it blew my mind because that's all I do is try to define what dementia and Alzheimer's and all the other different kind of dementias are. And it just it hit me so hard to read two people be on the whole other end of it, like, I hate this disease and I don't want it to define me. It just switched everything around in my head because I'm like, oh, my God, I spend so much time trying to get people to tell me all about them and what it does to them and their loved one and how it affects them every day. And it was very eye-opening for me to see someone say that in words for me to read. It doesn't define me. And it was very important to me to see that. I needed to see that. I needed to understand that perspective with what I do. So
yeah. And that's a good attitude, to have.
Yes, it is.
Definitely. I mean, I feel that anyone who has any kind of diagnosis, whether it's some kind of dementia, cancer, it doesn't define you. You're more than your diagnosis. You're more than your disease, and live your life the best you can and enjoy doing what you like to do while you still can do it. And that's the thing, is to live life. Don't wait and sit around to die. Live your life and enjoy it. And wow. I'll tell you, everyone is different. I mean, my mother-in-law, thank goodness Matt wasn't like her. I was afraid that Matt would be like his mom, and I'm glad he wasn't, because my mother-in-law was very aggressive. She accused me of stealing, told everybody I was stealing from her. I didn't know about Alzheimer's 20 years ago, Daisy. I never heard the word, and I was a nurse. I never heard of it. I did not know about hallucinations, delusions, sundowning. I learned what I could with the information that was available at the time, which was not much. That was before the Internet really became huge, and, there really wasn't much information out there or support. And my dad had it, and he was different. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I started writing a book, and I'm almost through illustrating it now. I've taken a break since my mom's moved in, but back in the 80s, I started writing it, and I was inspired by Bob's two grandmothers and my mom, who was only in her 80s back then. It was in the 80s, I think, too. But it's the whole point of my book. It's a children's book, and it's called Grandma Turns 80. Well, it's been so long since I started, I've actually changed it to Grandma Turns 90 now. But the whole point of the book is that Grandma was getting older, and she had a big 80th or 90th birthday party. And part of the family thought that she was getting senile. And, and so the very ending reveals that the reason why she dresses funny, that can't match her clothes anymore, and just odd things like that, they all just like, oh, that the whole point at the end is that basically her light bulb went out in her closet and hadn't changed it, hadn't put a new one in, so she just lamely picked out her clothes and didn't care. So, but I mean, it's a children's book. But since I started that book, I had to change the wording, and I took senile out. I mean, I don't even know if anyone even uses that word anymore. But I didn't know about dementia. I didn't even know the word back then, or Alzheimer's either. So that was in the 80s. So. Anyway. Yes, it wasn't talked about. Matt's
grandmother lived with his mom, and she had what would be considered now Alzheimer's, but back then, it was in the 80s, it was, senility. And we would, laugh at her because she would say she knew Dr. Spock from Sugar Notch, Pennsylvania. She would be watching Star Trek.
You mean Benjamin Spock? Benjamin Spock. Is that who you mean?
No, I mean Dr. Spock from, Star Trek, yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm going back
Dr.
to
Spock.
Benjamin Spock. He was a children's
no.
educator.
Yeah, he was a children's doctor. No. This was Star Trek.
Okay.
She'd be watching Star Trek, and she'd go, I know him from Sugar Notch, Pennsylvania. And she would come out with, like, these outrageous things, and we would just laugh at her. I didn't know it was Alzheimer's. I mean, I worked in a nursing home when I was 16 and 17. So it's 1974, 75. I'm going to date myself here. And those people, I believe some of them probably did have some kind of dementia, but it wasn't called that back then. You did not say Alzheimer's down. It was hardening of the arteries, organic brain syndrome. Not once did I hear the word Alzheimer's. Not at all.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So when my mother-in-law was diagnosed, I was like, what is that? You know, it's education. That's what I would tell the audience. Education, I can't impress enough. I don't care if I sound like a broken record. You have to educate yourself on this disease, Alzheimer's. It is a global epidemic, and as the baby boomers age, and I am one of them, you're going to see more and more people, and people are getting dementia now young. Like, that's another thing, Daisy, and I'm glad you bring that out in your advocacy, is early onset. People don't know that you could get dementia at any age. But we know that. We know that you could get it young.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even just the 30s, 20s, and 30s now. I read an article yesterday, I think it was maybe the day before, about the different reasons. I think it's in Australia why they're finding dementia in children, in young children. So they're studying all that and researching what that's all about. And anyway, so we got to stay on top of all of this. So
yes, and the information changes, but as of now, and I want to tell the audience why it's important to educate yourself about Alzheimer's, because 1 in 3 people get diagnosed. So chances are you're going to know someone who is going to develop Alzheimer's. And people, either you're going to be a caregiver or you're going to need a caregiver. I'm telling you, be prepared. No one thinks they're going to get this. People think, oh, I'm healthy. It doesn't matter. My husband was healthy. Matt was healthy, except for his brain. And it's not just memory loss. And, people think, oh, it's just memory loss. And it's more than memory loss. Your brain is dying.
It is much, much more than memory loss. But I know from all the work I've done that memory loss affects a person and their caregiver in ways that most people can't even imagine. The short term and the long term. And the mixture of both, it just causes unbelievable daily situations. And memory loss is a big deal, but that's probably, even with my own mom, I don't think memory loss was really the first sign that I was seeing in her that made me think, oh my, what's going on with her? Does she have dementia? Her first issue was more anxiety, like getting overwhelmed easy, like not opening her mail. When we moved her in my house, she had unopened mail for 3 years, stacking up. It was too much for her. She got to where she couldn't pay her bills. And then she was withdrawn. She didn't want to go socialize and be with her own family, her own kids. And that's a big sign of dementia. That has nothing to do with memory. I mean, I know that forgetting things can be the beginning or a sign of the beginning, but it's not necessarily the one. So, and then it's personality change. That's what I saw with my mother-in-law. Big personality change. Big. Yeah. I mean, my mother-in-law
was a very sweet, kind woman. I mean, she was great to me. She was a wonderful woman. And when I didn't know that she had Alzheimer's at the time, accused me of stealing, and I didn't know she was going to neighbors and everyone else and being mean and accusing me of not paying her the rent. I'm thinking, what is going on? Yeah. And then one day she said to me, I didn't tell Matt, but I'm afraid I'm getting like my mother. And
personality change.
That's scary. Yes.
Yep. I'd go to my mom's apartment, and she started covering her windows with towels or fabric or a pillowcase, just pinning it up nice and neat. Yeah, she used to love the sun. She used to love the daylight coming in all the windows. I'm like, what is going on? And I would take pictures of her and send them to my siblings, and they're like, what is all that on the windows? Well, I mean, this was the beginning. This is part of the beginning. You know, you don't hear about that. Oh, you know, Alzheimer's or dementia is about people. It's just about memory loss. You don't hear them say it's just about covering up the windows. But there's a reason why they do that. There's fear. And there's, you know, the other things, that anxiety that dementia creates, even in the early beginning part of it. So it's all the things you got to watch for, because I think the sooner you figure things out and understand, you know, that it's happening, you can start figuring out a plan and what to do about it. So
exactly.
Anyway,
yes.
Which I wasn't able to. I wasn't recognizing it when I first was seeing it. So.
Yeah,
anyway.
You and me both. I didn't either. I mean, it's so weird, because I remember saying this to Matt when his mom was still alive. I said, Matt, for some reason, I feel you're going to get Alzheimer's early. But to me, I'm thinking in my mind at 60. So I said, when you're 60, I want you to go to a neurologist. He said, no, I'm not going. And never did I know or think someone could get it in their 50s. I never heard of that before. That was 12 years ago when Matt was diagnosed. And apparently the doctors in and around my area did not know about early onset either, because we were told he's too young. But your mom is so cute. I just want to hug her. If I could, if I lived where you lived, I would just hug her. God bless her. She is wonderful. Folks, you got to look at Daisy's Best TikTok videos and go on her page, because I mean, that's just, your mom is just, she's a character. She really is.
She's a little
character.
hoot.
I mean,
that's what I've always called her. I've always called her a little hoot.
She is, awesome to be able to beat that drum. You're walking around beating the drum. I mean, that is just at 95, right? Your mom is 95? I mean,
yes,
it's like,
95.
God bless her. God bless her. I mean, that's a blessing. I mean, really, for your mom to be able to do that. Is there anything else you would like to tell the audience? How can they get in touch with you, Daisy? If you would like for them to get in touch with you.
I'm mostly on Facebook, and I have an art page, Days I Art, and 3 words, Days I Art, and then I'm Daisy Vest, and I dedicate my profile page, my Daisy Vest page, to sharing my artwork and launching it from there, and then I just have a real small private profile page that I use just so I can be a regular human being, relax and enjoy my friends, and not preach at them about dementia. No, I do that for me. My family even advised me that would probably be a good idea, and it has been a great idea. So, but anyway, so it's pretty. And then I'm on TikTok also as Days I Art. So, yep. And
I got to tell the ones, you got to go on TikTok and see these videos. You got to see the videos of Daisy's mom. You would not believe that her mom is 95. I mean, it's just incredible. I just, love that you show your mom. And I want to thank you for coming on, chatting with Betsy, and best of luck with your book and all your advocacy. I can't thank you enough for your advocacy work, because you make me feel, Daisy, that I'm not alone and someone else is speaking up, because people are probably tired of hearing it from me by now. But I will not shut up. I will not be silent. And support groups, folks, are very important. Counseling is very important. Self-care is very important. If you need a support group, I have one, #Kick Alzheimer's Ass Movement on Facebook. You're welcome to join. This is where I learned from different support groups how I learned to be a better caregiver. I learned from other caregivers. I learned about hallucinations and what to do, what not to do. How I wished I had that information 20 years ago. But it's best to be prepared. I was prepared for Matt's hallucinations, and he had them. And I was able to prepare my son Josh for it. Of course, preparing for it and seeing it in person is two different things, but at least you are prepared. And this is why I will never stop saying education is so important. It's imperative. There is so much information out there. I don't care if what I say offends someone. There is no excuse for people not to be educated about Alzheimer's or about caregiving. There's no excuse for a caregiver not to be knowledgeable in 2022, soon to be 2023. There's no excuse. I don't want to hear, I don't have time. You make the time. If you could, whether you call it binge on Netflix or whatever, then you need to watch some videos to educate yourself. Because when you educate yourself, caregiver, you're empowering yourself. You're making yourself have a better quality of life, and your loved one, giving them a better quality of life as well. Yeah. So I want to thank you. Thank you so much, Daisy, for the work that you do. I know I appreciate it immensely. And I always like, go, Daisy, go.
Well, the day I've had today just is a reminder that it seems to be, even though I'm basically a visual artist doing digital work, it's like shooting off in so many directions. It's crazy. But yes, it's good. I don't push. I mean, I do. I think there's a real fine line between, people who advocate, we have to be out there. We have to put ourselves out there. And any other area of my life, I'm like, I don't do that. I mean, it almost feels awkward to me that I make myself so visible. But I spend hours and hours and hours creating, and I'm not going to do all that work and then not get it out there. So anyway, I work, to do that. And then I just keep connecting with people, and they're just taking me down these paths. But they're good. They're good paths. They're important ones. And I don't push hard. I just kind of follow this thing, and it just keeps opening up more opportunity. So, try to just follow what feels right and what feels effective, the best that I can. So, but
that's all you can do.
None of us can do it all. We can just try to stay on the path that is meant for us to unfold, and join up with the people we can and make things happen together. So, anyway.
Yes. Well, thank you, Daisy Vest. Folks, check out Daisy Vest. The information is going to be in the blog, so please read the blog that Jeannie White, who's station manager, writes. Thank you, Jeannie, for doing the blog. Thank you for producing the show. I want to thank Lillian Caldwell, CEO of Perpetual Talk Radio, making this all possible. Thank you for listening. Listeners, thank you for subscribing. Please share this show to help other people. This is what Chatting with Betsy is about. It's about helping others. And when you share this show, you are helping to honor my husband's memory, because my husband is a catalyst and always will be for what I do. Mm-hmm. And I want to thank everybody who has subscribed and listened and shared past 3 years, and all the wonderful guests that I've had on. And if you missed any of this show, you can hear it all over again. You can hear it on Apple Podcasts. Chatting with Betsy is now on Megaphone and on a bunch of other places. And I just want to thank everyone for listening. And please get involved. Please just educate yourself. I can't really say that enough. It's so important to be educated on this Alzheimer's. You know, we have humor amongst ourselves. It's not a joke, people. It's more than memory loss. Believe me, if you want to see what Alzheimer's is like, you want to see a journey, go on my Facebook page, Betsy, Betsye, Wurzel, Wurzel, and you will see videos of my husband, Matt, and you will see the reality of this disease. So you could go on there and just look to your heart's content.
And be ready.
And I don't want to be ready. Yes, that's not all pretty.
Things. You're going to learn
not things. Yes, not all pretty. But,
right.
As I always say at the end of my show, folks, in a world where you could be anything, so please be kind. So please be kind and shine your light and shine it bright. This is Betsy Wurzel, your host of Chatting with Betsy on Passionate World Talk Radio. Bye-bye now.